Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Her Story, the series where I share stories of women in a way most of the media misses. Today, we're going to be discussing Susana Carrera, a Mexican businesswoman. According to the Daily Mail, Mexican businesswoman's wife is decapitated and her head dumped with a note that reads, "This happened to me because my husband refused to pay $200,000 ransom after she was kidnapped." A decapitated woman's body has been found inside a big bin with a note blaming her husband for refusing to pay my ransom. The remains of Susana Carrera were found in the eastern coast of the Gulf of Mexico. She had been kidnapped a week earlier outside a friend's house where she had gone to collect one of her children. The couple owned an aluminum company which had an office in the coastal city. And there's the woman there, and there is her body with the note attached to it. Harrowing CCTV footage show her captors pulling up in a car, grabbing her and throwing her into a car in a matter of seconds. 1 week later, the woman's remains were found in a bag left on the street. The suspected kidnappers left a note alongside the woman's body which said that her husband had been messing around and wouldn't pay the ransom. According to the local media, she had been beheaded because the requested ransom of 4 million Mexican pesos had not been paid. It is unclear how the ransom demand was made to her husband. Hours later, the husband confirmed that his wife had been killed on Facebook and thanked well-wishers for their kindness during the week that she had been held captive. And there's some CCTV footage here, kind of blurry, I'm not going to play it. And then there's a picture of her with her 3 children and her husband. The post read, "Thank you for all your prayers and wishes for my wife, Susana Carrera, to return home. Unfortunately, she could not and passed away. No arrests have been reported so far. It is unclear why exactly the kidnappers decided to kill Mrs. Carrera or what contact they had with her husband." So while this story is pretty brief, I'm concerned that it's actually too brief. You see, not only was this couple married with children, but they were partners in an aluminum and a hardware company. But the question that begs to be asked is this: why did the husband refuse to pay? It reminds me of the plot of one of my favorite movies, Man on Fire, where the husband helped mastermind the kidnapping of his wife's child. I mean, was Susana cheating on him, and did he feel like a divorce was too expensive? I mean, he had 3 children with her. A custody fight would have been expensive and destroyed him both emotionally and financially, especially if she started accusing him of abuse. It makes you wonder if he had an insurance policy out against her. I mean, everybody knows that the family courts all over the Western world are cancer. And if you followed this channel at all, you know that I actually talk about this quite a lot. Now, with that in mind, though, it just makes you wonder, did he have a part in it? Or once it happened, did he realize that this was his escape route to avoid a costly divorce? I mean, especially if he got an insurance policy on her before she died. I mean, for him, this might be the best of a bad situation. I don't know. I mean, it's horrible for the family and it's horrible for the children in general, because, you know, these children have lost their mother. But on the same token, it just makes you wonder, because women are a protected class all over the Western world. As much as they like to, pontificate about how oppressed they are, the reality is that we protect women. And we see this with the Me Too movement, because women in the Me Too movement are mass accusing men of abuse all across the spectrum, and they're getting all kinds of sympathy for it. You don't even see women who are determined to be false accusers later. You don't even see them get prosecuted or suffer any kind of consequences for it. So we know that women are a privileged and protected class, at least in the United States. And in other areas of the Western world, it's pretty much the same case. So the fact that this husband wouldn't pay, that, they probably owned their own house, they owned a business that was an aluminum and a hardware company that was probably pretty successful. He had the money. You know that they had some kind of retirement somewhere, and he chose not to pay. So the question is, why? Was she cheating? Was she talking about divorce? Did she have him over a barrel? The answers to these questions we'll probably never know. But it makes you wonder, if your wife gets kidnapped and she's cheating on you, would you pay? Something to think about. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm DDJ, and this Her Story about Susana Carrera is your dose of misandry today.